Hello again, good morning guys. So this is the part 2 of your assessment of student turning 1 regarding the topic item analysis. So I hope you remember the evaluation code that I presented on the part 1 of this video presentation. So again, that evaluation code for item analysis is very important when giving the remarks when it's the time that you're going to reject, revise, or retain an item. Okay? So let's continue the discussion regarding item analysis. Okay, so actually in doing an item analysis, we have a step-by-step procedure. So these are the simplified item analysis procedure. Okay, so step number 1, compute 30% of N. Compute 30% of big letter N or capital letter N, where capital letter N is the total number of test paper and round off the result to the nearest whole number. This represents your small letter N. So, compute the total number of test paper. So, that is equivalent to the number of students who took the examination. For example, the number of students who took the examination is 50. So you're going to get the 30% of 50. Okay? And then 30% of 50 is equivalent to 15 or 1/5. So that is step number 1. Compute 30% of N. Second step, arrange the test in order, placing the high score on top and continuing sequencing until the paper having the lowest score is placed at the bottom. So just the regular ranking. So you arrange the test paper from highest to lowest. Again, you arrange the test paper from highest to lowest. And step number 3, count off the N test result from the top of the range score. This constitutes the upper group. So paano ba pipiliin ang upper group? Halimbawa, meron kang 50 students na kumuha ng examination. So that will be 30% of 50. So 30% of 50 is 15. So again, kukuhanin mo yung top 15 na score. You will get the top 15 na score, and that is your upper group. Okay? So top 15, that will be your upper group. And then your step number 4, count the N test result from the bottom of the arranged score. This constitutes your lower group. So again, if the small letter N is 15, you get the top 15 and you get the bottom 15. Okay? Yung 15 na pinakamataas at yung 15 pinakamababa. So yung pinakamataas, that will be your upper group, and yung pinakamababa, that is your lower group. Again, that is depende doon sa yung nakuha na value ng small letter N. Okay? So top 15, if your big N is 50, getting the 30% of N is 15. So therefore, 15 upper groups and 15 lower groups. Okay? Next step. Set aside the middle result. For example, nakuha mo ng top 15, nakuha mo na ang bottom 15. So, yung nasa gitna, aalisin mo na yon. Hindi na natin isasama yung middle result. Just the upper group and the lower group. Next we have record the count of the item on a separate sheet as follows. So, i-record mo lang per item. This will be your guide. So, halimbawa, item number 1, you have upper group and you have your lower group. That A, B, C, D, E are the choices sa isang item. Okay? So, for example, upper group, ilan ang nagsagot ng A? Ilan ang nagsagot ng B? How many students got an answer C, D, and E? Ganon din sa lower group. How many answered A? Ilan ang sumagot sa B? Ilan ang sumagot sa C? Okay, so that will be your step number 6. And then next we have determine the proportion of the upper group who answered each item correctly by dividing the number of items or dividing the number of correct answer for the upper group by N. For example, kanina sabi natin, if N equals 15, small letter N is equal to 15. Now, doon sa upper group, bibilangin mo ilan ang tumama. For example, doon sa 15 na nasa upper group, ang tumama ay 12. So, therefore, the PU is 12/15. No, ha? Kung ilan yung tumama sa proportion of upper students. Ganon din ang gagawin sa lower students, sa lower group. Diba? You do have 15 students on a lower group. Now, to get the proportion or to get the PL or P sub L, you count the number of students who got the correct answer on the lower group. Okay? So, for example, your lower group students got 7 correct answers. 7 correct answers. So, therefore, that will be, the P sub L is equivalent to 7/15. Okay? Just count the students who got the correct answer. Okay? So, that is the proportion for upper group and that is the proportion for lower group. And then, the next step is find the difficulty, index of difficulty for every item. Again, so, do you remember on part 1 of the video presentation, the formula for the index of difficulty is P sub U plus P sub L all over 2. Each item, you're going to get the index of difficulty. Okay? Again, index of difficulty equals P sub U plus P sub L all over 2. And then, compute the index of discrimination of each item. So, do you remember, on the last video, the formula for index of discrimination is P sub U minus P sub L. P sub U minus P sub L. And then, after you compute, go to the table, what will be your index of difficulty? Go to the table, what will be your index of discrimination? Siya ba ay easy? Very easy. Discriminating? Very difficult. So, that depends on the solution that you computed. Okay? And the next, the effectiveness of the test distractor is determined by using the adjective good, fair, and poor. A good distractor will attract more students from the lower group than the upper group. So later on, we're going to discuss paano ba yung tinatawag na good distractor. Okay? Paano ba tinatawag na fair distractor? Paano ba yung tinatawag na good distractor? Okay? So, let's have a sample test result for an item analysis. Okay, so consider the test result of 50 students in algebra. So, ibig sabihin, 50 yung kumuha ng examination. So, in that case, total number of students equals 50. So, di ba, first step, get the 30% of n. So, 30% of n is equal to small letter n. Okay, so, therefore, 0.30 times 50, that is equals to 15. So, therefore, n equals 15. The small letter n is equal to 15. Okay? So, test results in algebra. Okay, so item number 1. So, item number 1, the upper 30%, di ba 15 lahat yun? Sa upper 30%, 13 yung nakatama. How about sa lower 30%, 8 yung nakatama. So, you have your PU 0.87, you have your PL 0.53, and you have your DF 0.70, you have your DS 0.34, and you have your item category RG, or reasonably good. So, therefore, you're going to revise. Okay? So, that will be the pattern na pwede nyo gawin. Each item. If you have 50 items, therefore, you have 50 items na kailangan natin ng remark. Again, you have 3 options. You're going to reject, revise, or retain your item. So, to have the further explanation, let's have this example. Okay, test result in algebra. N is equal to 50, N is 15. Item number 1 solution based on the data presented earlier. Okay, so number of students who got correct answer in upper group is 13. 13 yung nakatama sa upper group. And then sa lower group, ang tumama is 8. So therefore, to get the PU, that is 13/15, that is equal to 0.87. To get the P sub L, that is 8/15, that is equal to 0.53. Then, compute the F, or the index of difficulty. So, 0.87 plus 0.53 equals then all over 2, that is equivalent to 0.70, and the verbal interpretation is easy. Okay? And next we have the discrimination index, P sub U minus P sub L. So 0.87 minus 0.53, that is equivalent to 0.34, and the verbal interpretation is discriminating. Again, balikan natin yung evaluation code. We have easy, then discriminating, then your item category is reasonably good. What will be the remarks? Remarks will be revised. Okay? So that is the solution for number 1 item. Let's have another item. So again, n is 50, n is equal to 15, and then of course, item number 6 solution. Okay, so sa number 6, item number 6, total number who got the answer in upper group, 14. How about sa lower group? 5. Okay, so proportion of upper group, you have 14 over 15, which is equivalent to 0.93. And then sa P sub L, 5 yung tumama, so 5 over 15, that is equivalent to 0.33. Then compute for difficulty level. So 0.93 plus 0.33 all over 2, that is equivalent to 0.63, which is equivalent to easy. Compute for discrimination index, that is P sub U minus P sub L. So therefore 0.93 minus 0.33, that is equal to 60. And it is equivalent to very discriminating. Okay? So again, based on the evaluation code, you have easy, then very discriminating. So therefore, anong katapat na doon? Item category is poor and your remarks is rejected. Your remark is rejected. Okay? Let's have another one. You have n is 50, n is 15, and item number 10 solution. Okay, so sa item number 10, number of students who got correct in upper group, 8. How about sa lower group? You have 5. So determine the proportion sa upper group, that is equivalent to 8 over 15 or 0.53. And the other one is 5 over 15, that is equivalent to 0.33. And then determine the difficulty level, that is 0.53 plus 0.33 all over 2, that is equivalent to 0.43, which is moderate difficulty or optimum difficulty. And discrimination index, that is 0.53 minus 0.33, that is equal to 0.20. So that is equivalent to not discriminating. So therefore, moderate difficulty, katapat is not discriminating, your item category is fair, and your remarks is retained. Okay? So that is how to get the proper item analysis. So get the PU, get the PL, get the index of difficulty, get the index of discrimination, get the item category, and based on the evaluation code, you can now have your remarks. Okay? Again, it should be rejected, retained, or revised. Okay? So when we say retained, pwede mong gamitin uli. When we say revised, pwede mong palitan ang question or pwede mong palitan yung mga choices. When we say rejected, automatic, rejected yung buong item. Okay? Now, next we have determine the distractor. So, ito naman sa distractor. As you notice, you have the group, upper group, which is 15, lower group, which is 15, and then you have choices A, B, C, D, and E. In this item, the correct answer is letter A. Okay? Sa upper group, 3 ang sumagot ng A, 3 ang sumagot ng B, 3 ang sumagot ng C, 3 ang sumagot ng 2, 2 ang sumagot ng 2, and 4 ang sumagot ng letter E. Sa lower 50 naman, isa ang sumagot sa A, 3 sa B, 5 sa C, isa sa D, at isa sa 5 sa E. Okay, so paano man natin malalaman kung good, fair, or bad, or poor? Option A. As you notice sa option A, mas marami ang tumama sa upper group compared sa lower group. So, with respect sa correct answer, pag mas marami ang tumama sa upper group compared sa lower group, then your distractor is good. Okay? Now, let's proceed sa letter B, option B. Parehas yung tumama, 3 sa upper, 3 sa lower ng sagot. So, kapag parehas, that is fair. Letter C naman tayo. As you notice, mas marami ang sumagot naka-attract sa lower kaysa naka-attract doon sa upper. Imagine, lower is 5, upper is 3. So therefore, that is a good distractor. Bakit? Kasi mas marami ang na-attract na sumagot sa lower group than the upper group. How about option D, which is poor? Bakit poor? Kasi mas marami ang sumagot sa upper group, which is 2, kaysa sumagot sa lower group, which is 1. That's why it's a poor distractor. And lastly, you have your letter E. As you notice, mas marami pa rin yung sumagot sa lower group, which is 5, compared sa upper group, which is 4. That's why your distractor is good. Okay, so that is the basis of determining the measures of attractiveness of a certain distractor. Okay, so that is all about the part 2 of your item analysis. Okay, so this will be the end of the part 2. And thank you and keep safe, everyone. So upon watching this part 1 and part 2 of your assessment of student learning, I will provide an online examination for you to assess if you understand or comprehend the video presentation that I have presented. Okay, so this will be the basis of your major exam. So thank you very much and keep safe, everyone.